Hi, I'm Mark Bernstein. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about ideas in ideas. Now, I'm interested in ideas because I'm the designer of Tinderbox. Eastgate Systems publishes a tool for making, analyzing, and sharing notes, and I'm interested in ideas because ideas are important. That's why we publish Tinderbox. Now, weblogs usually aren't thought to have ideas. I'd like to take a few minutes to explore some ideas about the ideas of why weblogs are the way they are and why weblog critics say the things they do. Now, by NeoVictorianism in this talk, I don't mean some revival of outworn ideology, I don't mean right-wing, I don't mean Neil Stephenson. But we can reach back to older movements to interrogate their symbols and to grasp once more their tools and their desires. Today I'm going to try to explain what weblogs want, to explore the ideas behind weblogs. Consumers, by the way, have no ideas. So when we say weblogs are consumer-to-consumer content, we are supposing that weblogs are free from ideas, free from those serious little concerns that don't plague people who exist merely to buy. But in fact, weblogs are full of ideas. Weblogs are all about weighty ideas and important ideas in the lives of important people. But our age is not much given to writing manifestos. The short 20th century, limited by World War I and the fall of the wall, taught us to beware of grand ideas. And though weblogs travel everywhere now, weblogs retain a certain American flavor. Know-nothingness retains a strong hold on the American imagination. The friends of weblogs have often embraced a romantic antagonism to abstract ideas, to rules and procedures and requirements. We urge bloggers to be themselves. We urge bloggers to write in their own voice about their own concerns and let their own excellence shine in their blogs. The romantic hero, remember, wins because of the hero's essential goodness. The enemies of weblogs also embrace the same romantic notion that weblogs have no ideas and no principles. But ideas are useful. Though the world likes to think that weblogs have no idea in their pretty little head, and no ideals either, and though weblogs themselves are shy of manifestos, yet we can and we should see through this haze. We are not, after all, the first to face a world of new technological affordances, new media, and new social relationships. And if that former age was somewhat freer in its use of movements and manifestos, we can perhaps see new ideas refracted in the old. At Uppsala last year, I spoke about NeoVictorian computing. That talk addressed the tension between the software factory, a broken dream, and artisan software. This is not our tension in the blogosphere, since obviously weblogs are made by and for people. Weblogs are not mass-produced. But looking back to earlier movements, and equally by looking at the way we now perceive them, I think we can tease out some interesting ideas that animate the blogosphere. By Neo-Victorian, I'm trying to allude to a cluster of styles and tropes current in youth culture and elsewhere that revive and reinterpret styles of the long 19th century, especially some that seemed entirely forgotten in the short 20th. I do include the continent and the colonies here as well as England, and encompass the entire long 19th century, not just the reign of one queen. We do not ask truly Victorian questions in the blogosphere. Truly Victorian questions were often the question of starvation. Please, sir, could I have some more? But old questions do come back to haunt us and taunt us. The problems of the late age of print echo the problems of the late Industrial Revolution. We can do things that we have never done. What is worth doing? What is worth writing? Who are we, and what do we want? The problems of the late age of print echo the problems of the late Industrial Revolution. What do weblogs want? Critics argue that weblogs chiefly seek admiration and attention, that they're just childish indulgences, narcissistic pleas for attention from undisciplined techies eager to tell us about their last cheese sandwich. And this is true, in the way it's also true of writers and performers and politicians and artists. But weblogs do want attention, connection, contact. Weblogs write with links. This, not chattiness, not typos or insults, not chronological organization, is what makes blog writing distinctive. Only recently have critics understood how vitally important links are to the flavor of weblogs. Links are the first significant new punctuation mark to come into widespread practice in centuries, and we are still learning to use them. Weblogs urgently want to be right, to be first, to be in the know. Whether they're about cooking or politics or gossip or XML, weblogs want to tell you the real story. And weblogs are deeply engaged with the whole question of independency, as was the Victorian age. This too has fed the long feud between bloggers and journalists. Who here is the master, and who is the wage slave, and who is the blogo-fascist herd? Just look at advice to bloggers, and you'll see the same spectrum of concerns. Freedom from pettifogging editors, freedom from corporate restrictions, six-figure income, the new gentility, which we can now achieve from 15 minutes of fame, or from Google ads, or from beggars' bowls. This is the end of the first part of this discussion. I'll shortly tape the second part, where we look in more detail at exactly what bloggers want and what blogs want. I'm Mark Bernstein from Eastgate Systems. Thank you for listening.